In this video, I'm gonna literally explain exactly how we do it. Maybe think like how we do what, how we get the absolute best results for visual artists in the art space. I'm gonna literally break down our entire process right here, like from start to finish. Now, I can't. How can I say this? There's always that artist that just like you say you was gonna break down the entire process. You ain't explain everything. Excuse me. I can't explain everything. Like my actual artists pay a lot of money to get like freaking. I don't know what the count is. I know just the Instagram section is like 7 hours of content. I'm gonna try to keep this video under 30 minutes, but I am gonna explain a lot for to help you get the ball rolling. With that being said, if you don't know who I am, my name is Drew Henry, founder and creator of Artist Rise. At this point, we're working with almost 900 artists, which is freaking fantastic. You're gonna see I don't have a haircut because I got in a motorcycle accident recently, broke my foot, got third-degree road rash in certain areas, so I really can't like leave the house right now. But that won't stop us for creating some amazing, amazing content, right? So we're gonna kind of like jump straight into it. I hope you're enjoying these like more direct videos. They're just the easiest for me to make, and I feel like it allow like us to get to meet on a more personal level. So with that being said, let's just jump into it. First, I want you to understand how important education is. I understand like at this point, a lot of at least visual artists in the art space see me as like some really educated guy or like some genius or something like that. I don't know if it's keep like blurring out or not, but if so, I apologize. But I think it's the lighting. But see me as like some genius, but I'm really not. Literally, the reason we was able to create like the most successful program is because all I did is once we started having initial success, I took the money I made like the artists who paid to be inside the program. I took the money that they paid to be in the program. I literally just went and invested in more advanced education for myself to the point where we started spending like 50 up to like 120,000 in a single year just on education. The education I learned, I bring it back to the artists so they can have the most cutting edge information so they could continue to sell and sell as quickly as possible. So once again, I'm no genius. That's literally all I've done. I just took the information that I learned and just teach it to the artists. One of my son, if anything, like you need to educate yourself, whether you pay for training, whether you invest in Artist Rise, which is my company, whatever you do, you need to like be able to shortcut that learning curve. And the best way to do that is to get a mentor. It's to whether that's invested in one, finding one naturally. And who do you describe as a mentor? I describe a mentor as someone who either had a ton of success applying a specific process themselves, one in the same field that you want to be in. So in this case, either a visual artist who had a ton of success selling their artwork, and then two, the second option would be having someone who helped a lot of visual artists have success. Either one work, but you definitely need a mentor. But with that being said, I got some notes here, so you're gonna probably see me look down a little bit. We're gonna kind of just jump straight into it. So first, just getting into it, the main thing is that we focus on like simplicity. So I'm talking a lot about keeping things just simple and just I've mastered and learned that simple is more. Simple is so much more. And simplicity is absolutely key if you really want to be successful. I'm gonna tell a quick story. Check this out. Have you ever, we all seen like those multi-millionaires and billionaires, right? And if you ever pay attention, they look like they always have the most time in the world. It look like they live completely stress-free, having all of the fun on yachts, flying private jets. It just look like they're just living, just doing interviews. But it never ever looked like they're working. If you really think about it. And now I'm saying you're probably like, holy shit, like that's so accurate because this is the thing. This is the thing that like get my brain going. Cause I was wondering, it's like, why all these really successful people that should be working the hardest seem to not be working at all. And what I've learned from one of my mentors is that it's not that they don't work at all. They just work much, much smarter and they big on simplicity. So if I had to like sum simplicity up, and once again, this is gonna make sense when it comes to like everything I'm about to share with you in this own video. If I had to sum simplicity up, I would sum it up as focusing on the 10% that produce 90% of the results. That's it. So if you just train your brain to focus on that 10% that's going to produce 90% of the results, you'll be keeping things simple, but also you'll be much, 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 much more effective. And that's what billionaires do. They don't worry about all the small nitty gritty stuff. They just focus on that 10% that's going to produce the most results, the biggest outcome. That's all. So I'm gonna explain exactly how we do the exact same thing. So once I figured this out, I literally started thinking, this was in like 2020. I started thinking like, how can we simplify the process as much as possible to get as many results as possible? And simplifying the process, I realized overall, like in a big grand scheme of things, to be successful, it only took two things as a visual artist. And that was one, getting the right people actually seeing your artwork. And then I realized like the second thing to be successful is just having a conversation to get them to purchase. It was those two things. That's it. Like really. So when we started hyper focusing on like simplicity and these two things, we started having artists like crush it. And when these artists started crushing it, I guess because the results was like so crazy and it was hitting those results so fast, we started getting like a lot of backlash from like outside artists, like so many artists and just people just like, ain't no way it could be real. That's not legit. No way an artist could make that amount in this amount of time. And it was just like, it was crazy to the point where it's like, it became a big old thing in like 2020. And it was like a, what's this called? Like pro and a con. It was like a pro and a con because the con was we had so many people like talking negative about us that never even had a conversation with me or anyone on my team or anything. Like they just seen the results and just was blown away and couldn't believe it. Just say, "Yep, this is not legit." And on the flip side, it did draw a lot of attention to on my company, which is Artist Rise, and that actually led to like the artist who was very serious about their career started looking into it, and they realized like, "Holy crap, this is legit." And then that's when we started like working together with way more artists. But once again, I'm explaining exactly how we get into this process. And then also, with that being said, I know there's going to still be some of those, we call them the skepticisms, some of those skepticisms on this call. So what I do is I do a quick freeze frame and show like an overwhelming amount of results we got just like in the past, just time. So with that being said, Catherine, pause the screen now and just like show 20 results, 20 screenshots now. Now that you've seen those screenshots, let's do this. Let's get into it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break down exactly how those screenshots you just seen come about. So first thing first, what you need to do, and before I even jump to take notes, because I'm really about to get really in depth into this entire process. Like this is the exact process that led to those screenshots you just see. So first thing you need to do, you need to have a very, very, very intriguing story. It had to be very intriguing. The best way I can describe intriguing is vulnerable, vulnerability. The more vulnerable you are, the more you open your heart, the more you will resonate with people. Because here's what I come to understand: people resonate with the stories that align with them. That's too tough for them to communicate out loud for themselves. Let me explain. Basically, I can have a deep story that's deep rooted inside me, but it's so deep and vulnerable, I can't communicate it. So when I can hear somebody else openly and comfortably communicate that for me, I instantly become drawn to that person. And you, as the visual artist, because your art is nothing but expression. That's what visual art is. Art is a form of expression. And that's for you to express your stories, right? What goes on inside your head, what goes on inside your life. And what you want to do is you want to become that person. Stay on the call. What you want to do is you want to become that person that people get drawn to. Like when you express yourself, you want people to say, wow, that's me. And then they get drawn to you. And that's how you build like a die-hard fan base, like a very, very die-hard fan base. So this is what I want you to do. Sit down with yourself and really ask yourself, like, why, not what, but why do you create the art you create? Like, why you chose to create your specific art, and then just like write your little heart away and become very vulnerable, become very open with yourself. And this story is going to pave the way for your entire career moving forward. But you have to be vulnerable, because once again, vulnerability leads to intrigue and like stories, and when it's intriguing, it draw people in. A side note, this video is very, very, very old, but by very, very, very old, probably like 5, maybe 8 years old or so. But there's a video by a guy named Simon Sinek. It's titled "Start with Why." It's on YouTube channel. Like if you search up, it's Simon Sinek "Start with Why." He did a TED talk. It probably got like 8 or 10 million views. It went viral. But in this particular TED talk, he talks about how Apple became the biggest company on earth at the time. And what he talked about is how while everybody was focusing on selling at this time, I forgot what it was, like MacBooks and computers and iPhones and iPods. While everybody's focusing on selling those products, Apple focused on the why. So all their marketing was behind like why they created what they created and who it was for. They never really talked about like what it was and what it do. Right? Like even if you think about it, the latest like freaking iPhone in today's time, when you look at the ads, nothing as much is really changing, but people still buy them so consistently, and it's because of the why, the story behind it, and who's it's for, right? So the why and the who is it for, and that's that's step one. Now, once you're at that compelling story, here's what you want to do. You need to understand step two. Step two is exposure. If you want to succeed, forget the beautiful website, forget the like price points, and I need to figure out how to ship and package my work and how to get it into galleries. Forget all of that stuff. None of that stuff is important. You don't need the most professional pictures on Instagram by a photographer to be successful. What you need is exposure. That's it. So exposure, that's two. To get exposure, you want to be on social media. That's as simple as that. If you still trying to like freaking get in galleries and do art fairs and stuff like that, I'm not saying it don't work, but social media have is the biggest opportunity in today's time. Like keep in mind, the only reason you met me and you watching this video is because of social media. Like very realistically, that's how we met. And just like how you met me through social media, your audience could meet you through social media. My favorite platform and what I teach my artists is Instagram. So I'm gonna give you guys the cheat code to Instagram. Here's what you want to do. Understanding that we need exposure now that we understand that now that we understand our why behind our work. On Instagram, you're gonna keep it super simple. Once again, we want to focus on the 10% that gets 90% of the results. So here's what you want to do. When it comes to Instagram, you're not gonna get fancy smancy and try to put some very cool, outlandish Instagram strategy in place. Don't worry about that. All you need to do is post 3 to 4 times a week. I know you see every single person online telling you to post every single day, if not twice a day. Excuse me. I never ever belch, whatever. I never do that unless I start recording a video. But I know you see every single person telling you post once to twice a day because you need a lot of posts on Instagram. That's not the case. That is not the case. Trust me. By the way, why should you trust me? There's an artist named MJ Realism. I'm gonna actually I'll put it up here. I'm gonna show you why you should trust me. If you like questioning the things I'm saying. I don't know if my camera gonna focus it, but let's just try. So this artist right here, let's see if it can focus. There you go. Him. That's that's MJ Realism. MJ Realism, which is MJ, started working with me about a year and a half ago. Last year in 2023, MJ probably had the fastest growing Instagram account of all of 2023 for a visual artist. MJ grew from 2,000 followers to over 300,000 followers in 30 days. All organic, real people. If you look at some of his comments, you're going to see a lot of celebrities are now commenting on this post. So I'm only showing you MJ and saying that to say like you should really listen into what I'm telling you because it works. And I tested it over and over again. That's just one artist. I could show you another. I could show another like 50 artists, but that's not the point of this video. I just want you to trust me so you could just apply this stuff because it works. So post 3 to 4 times a day, right? That's it. Not anything more. Don't post less. 3 to 4 times a day. When you post 3 to 4 times a day, what you didn't want to do as far as the post, simply just find what other visual artists are posting that's getting a lot of views, like over 1 million. Just do a little research, go on Explore page, find what's getting over 1 million views, and just post that. Like just literally copy it. Not their video, but like make your own version of their video. Like if you see them get 1 million views, just make your own version of their video. Why you want to do this? Because they already proven that what they did worked. And the way Instagram works is that Instagram just love what's already working. So if you just do what's already working, guess what? You can expect a similar result. Because Instagram is not a person, it's a machine. And that machine just read the same signals. And if you could hit the same levels that somebody else already hit, it's a very high chance that you're going to get a lot of exposure. It's a very high chance. So when I back up, 3 to 4 times a day. I'm sorry, a week. 3 to 4 times a week you're going to post. But what you post is important. You're going to simply just post what you already see to be working. Go look at what other artists are posting and mimic that video as close as possible for yourself. That's it. Just mimic that video as close as possible for yourself. You're going to start seeing more exposure, more views on your videos. Now, here's what you want to do. Once you're seeing more views on your videos, you're going to have more engagement. That's just how it works. If you get more views, more people engage. Engage is just mean like more followers, more comments, more story views. That's all engagement. More likes. Once those people start engaging with you, you want to interact with them. Now, I see a lot of artists doing this, which is interacting with their engagers, right? The people that leave comments and stuff like that. And they'll say, thank you so much. Oh, thanks so much. Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That don't lead to the sale. You have to interact, right? What's the word I'm looking for? With a purpose. There we go. You want to interact with a purpose. What do I mean by this? When I say thank you, I'm not just saying thank you to say thank you. Your purpose is to try to have a direct conversation with them. That's simple. So somebody comment on your post and you responded with the intention to get them to a direct one-to-one conversation. And I'm gonna pause here and I'm gonna say this. Why do you want to have a one-to-one conversation? I know everyone is telling you to build a beautiful website, to send people to your website and make sales. It just don't work. Not for visual artists. Why? Because visual art is a very, very, very personal purchase. It's a very emotional purchase. And art is only based off the perceived value. What do I mean by this? No one could look at an artwork and say, yep, that piece is definitely worth $5,000. What happens is if you ask 100 people how much this artwork like it's worth, you're going to get prices from $50,000 to $50, especially if it's an abstract piece. So how do you raise the value of the artwork? That's raised through the story, which is why we did this in step 1. So it's the story behind your artwork that's important. So why the stories is so important? Well, when you get in conversation with these potential buyers, you're going to have a conversation. In that conversation, you're going to share your story. It's that simple. You want to talk about why you created that artwork. Now, in conversation, we talking about why you created that artwork. If it's the right person that we mentioned that will be drawn towards you, that reasoning behind why you created that artwork will resonate with that potential buyer. They're going to start to feel like, wow, that's me. Wow, this makes sense to me. As long as they feel like, wow, this is a reflection of myself, they'll be more inclined to purchase. And at that point, they will also be more likely to purchase at a higher price point. And this is why you don't want to send people to a website. I'm going to pause. At the very beginning of this video, I showed like 20 screenshots of success stories from real artists that you go research on Instagram at any given moment. We have the best results in this space. The only reason I'm saying this again to you is because I want you to have success. That's the only reason why. I want you to trust what I'm saying and apply it. We have more results than any other person in space. It don't matter how long they've been in business or how big they are. We have the most results. And this is exactly how we do it. So I'm trying to say I really want you to apply. I just want you to succeed. That's it. Now, and this is why you want to have a conversation. For the artist that's like, I don't want to have a conversation. I just want to send people to my website. I just want to make sales. Then you just won't be successful. Like you, once again, I talk about this in another video, which was sacrifice. You have to sacrifice some things. And you have to put in the work. You have to take the action. You have to have the conversation. When you walk into a gallery, there are people in the gallery specifically to come up to you, have a conversation with you, and then sell you the artwork. If the galleries are doing it, they're doing it for a reason. And that's just why you should do it. Now, with that being said, let's talk about it. In conversation, you want to talk about your story. After you talk about your story with that person in conversation, you simply just going to ask them if they want to purchase. If they say, oh, wow, that makes so much sense, it resonates with me, then you can offer that artwork for sale to them. And then they'll simply purchase. It's that simple. They'll purchase, or they may not. But here's the thing. Let's talk about the numbers. If you happen to set a goal, let's say of 50 conversations a month, once again, I'm giving you guys the actual blueprint. If you happen to have 50 conversations a month, there's no reason why you shouldn't make at least 5 sales. That's it. That's 10%. If you make 5 sales at a bare minimum, once again, bare minimum, let's just say 500 each. Let's not even say 500 each. Let's say let's say 500 each. That'll be 2,500 you'll make a month. 2,500 extra bucks just from that. You have 100 conversations, you make 10 sales at the same numbers. Now you made 5,000 a month. By the way, 5,000 a month is 60,000 a year. People go to school for 4 years to learn how to make 60,000 a year. That's exactly how my artists make 5,000 within the first 30 days of meeting me, by the way. Pretty straightforward. Now, with that being said, why artists choose to work with me? Excuse me. Artists choose to work with me mainly because the blueprint I just laid out for you, they simply just get to cut past all that and just get exactly what they need to know to get results as quickly as possible. Like, for example, I see to have conversations, the artists I work with, I reveal that exact conversation to them word for word what they should be saying, right? So you wonder, like, why would I spill everything here? Well, I'm not spilling everything. Once again, in the very beginning of this video, I mentioned that like my artists go through hours of content to learn the information that we teach to crush it, right? So like we give them the exact conversation. And by the way, this is not a sales pitch. I'm just like explaining it. We get the exact sales conversation. We show them exactly which video is going to do well online and how to go about posting them and how to go about doing the research. We explain exactly how to write their story to make it very intriguing and engaging. Exactly how to use that story on Instagram in your posts as well as in your conversations. We talk about exactly word for word, verbatim, what to say to offer that arc for sale. And then what to say if that person do say no, so they can still purchase. And then what to say if they choose not to purchase and how to get them to come back and purchase later and how to turn customers into long-term collectors. So I just can't get into all of that in this video, but if you just follow that blueprint I just laid out, it worked. That simple. It worked. Now, with that being said, once again, my name is Gerald Henry. What I'm going to start doing is I'm just going to start posting a lot of videos here because this will be the rise of Artist Rise. And we want to help as many artists as humanly possible just crush it. And this is just the beginning, like just the beginning. So if you're not subscribed to this channel, you probably want to subscribe, turn on your notifications because I'm going to be sharing a lot of information. Like I want to give you like, this will be your food to digest while you paint, if that makes sense. But this will be your value that you listen to while you paint. Once again, the goal is to work our way to a video every single day. I know it's going to be tough just with my crazy schedule, but for now, we will be doing 2 videos a week. With that being said, I'll see you on the next video, or I'm going to put a video about like how to crush in 2024. If you want to watch that video, it should be like somewhere around here, and you can click that link. I hope you enjoyed this video. Definitely leave a comment and tell me what some stuff you would like for me to talk about. Peace.